shit.
Hey everybody, it's Benny1 and I'm back at you with another movie review, everybody, and we are going to be talking about Shang-Chi, everybody, the newest Marvel MCU movie. It's actually the first official Phase 4 movie in Marvel because technically Black Widow fell into Phase 4, but it was a prequel. It took place in the past, after Civil War, in between Civil War and Infinity War, so that's not really a Phase 4 movie. This is the first official Phase 4 movie, in my opinion. So I'm going to keep this spoiler free because it just came out on Friday. I went and watched it on Friday. I've been kind of letting my thoughts cook about this movie because I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I enjoyed Black Widow. I know that. Not that Black Widow was horrible. It was okay. This movie, though, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, great comic book movie. So this was directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, everybody, and our main star, I hope I don't murder his name, it's Simu Liu. He plays Shang-Chi, or aka Sean. He goes by Sean in a certain point in the movie, actually, because he's kind of just this a younger, mid-20s age adult that doesn't really know what he's doing with his life. And he has a best friend that is played by Aquafina, who is Katie, and she's that comedy relief character that's in the MCU movies, and thank God her comedy relief actually doesn't ruin certain parts in the movie, because sometimes when these people that are cast in these comedy relief spots and these characters, and Marvel's known for having these characters, they're most definitely known for having these characters that are the comedy relief in these movies, and she fits in just perfectly. She's perfect for Marvel and her comedy and everything, and they did it well. Like, her dialogue and her little lines that she says to do the comedy relief, they don't ruin any of the scenes that she's in when she pops off and says stuff, and I was very thankful for that. Her and Shang-Chi together were awesome together. There is one thing that happens with her character, though, towards the end of the movie that I'm kind of like, I don't really know if she could do this necessarily, but okay, it's a comic book movie, so that's one of my little gripes about the movie. And then Tony Leung, he plays the Mandarin, everybody. He's Shang-Chi's dad, and they finally did the Mandarin properly after that garbage that they did in Iron Man 3 with this Marvel villain. Oh my God. And there are connections to the Iron Man movies with this movie, actually. I'm not going to say how or why or who or what. I'm not going to tell you. Go watch the movie and you'll find out, because it's pretty damn awesome what they did with it. I was very impressed. And yeah, the Mandarin in this movie, in a way, he kind of is half the heart of the movie, to tell you the truth, because he's a father who's mourning the loss of somebody in his life, and you can kind of see what the reasonings behind why he was doing what he was doing. And the 10 Rings thing is really cool. Like, the way that they implemented those in the movie, and they explained them, the backstory, the lore, like, they did a great job with it. And we actually got a good MCU villain. Like, he actually was a good villain, and Marvel's not always known for making the best villains in their movies. I mean, especially these standalone character movies, they're not always known for doing the best job with the villains. I mean, a lot of comic book movies aren't, so even the DC ones. So, but yeah, they did a great job with the villain in this movie. The Mandarin, awesome. And he's one of the best things in the movie. Like, him and his kid, Shang-Chi, like, awesome. Fantastic. And Simu, he's great as the lead actor, as Shang-Chi in this movie. He's very charismatic. He can do the fight scenes and all that stuff. And speaking of the fight scenes, holy crap, the first act of this movie is loaded with awesome martial arts, mixed martial arts, and just fighting. And it was awesome because Marvel needed something fresh in their movies. Not that what they did was bad, but like, if they're going to continue and grow this cinematic universe still, they gotta give us something new and fresh. And so they took their Marvel shit that they've already done and grown, and they took a kung fu movie and they smashed them together, and we got this awesome kung fu action comic book movie. And man, the first act, great choreographed, like mixed martial arts and martial arts fighting. Awesome. I almost said farting. But yeah, they did a fantastic job. And then the second act, I will say, there is kind of a lull in the second act of the movie. The second act of the movie does kind of slow down to a point, which is kind of a bummer. But then the third act kicks in and it goes full-blown MCU style. Like, the kung fu stuff kind of takes a back seat, and which is kind of unfortunate because it was one of the coolest things in the earlier parts of the movie. But yeah, you get more of that traditional big Marvel fight towards the end of the movie and stuff. So, but overall, I was very pleased with this movie. I actually went into it I was expecting to enjoy it, and it was just, the trailers didn't get me super pumped. I was just kind of like, yeah, it looks like an entertaining comic book movie about a character that I don't know a ton about. I do know about him because he's not one of the more known Marvel comic book characters, and I love that they're giving this attention to these characters that are not well known. I love that. I hope they keep doing that stuff because I was very impressed with this movie. So I'm gonna give freaking Shang-Chi a 8 out of 10, everybody. That's right, an 8 out of 10 for Shang-Chi. It's not a perfect Marvel movie, like I said, because the middle act of the movie kind of slows down a little bit too much before we kick back into gear in that third act. And there are certain things in the movie that certain characters do that I was like, that's not really super believable that this person could do this. And make sure you stay for the 2 post-credit scenes. I'm not going to tell you what they are. I'm not going to tell you who's in them, what's going on with them, but oh my God, let's just say the MCU is growing and they're heading down a great road. That's all I have to say. So after watching those 2 end credit scenes. So yeah, guys, an 8 out of 10 for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. Thanks for watching, and be catching you on the tube later because I have spoken.